The Starchild Skull, alien hybrid or genetic disorder. In the early 1930s, a teenage Mexican-American girl from El Paso was visiting family in Mexico's Copper Canyon region, near the town of Chihuahua. While exploring a tunnel in a mine, she found two skeletons on the floor. One appeared normal. The second had an unusually shaped skull, flattened at the back, wider than normal, with shallow eye sockets and a large brain cavity. The girl kept both skulls. They passed through several hands over the decades before coming to the attention of Lloyd Pye, an American author interested in paranormal subjects. In the late 1990s, Lloyd Pye was an American author who had written about the intervention theory, the hypothesis that human evolution was influenced by extraterrestrial intervention. When he encountered the unusual skull, he named it the Starchild Skull and made it the centerpiece of a public campaign to prove that it was the skull of an alien or an alien-human hybrid. He lectured extensively, wrote a book, and raised money for DNA analysis. His argument centered on the skull's anomalous physical characteristics: its volume, its weight, the texture of its bone, and its overall shape. Physical characteristics of the Starchild Skull are genuinely unusual compared to a typical adult human skull. The cranial volume is approximately 1/600 cubic centimeters, significantly larger than the human average of about 1/200-1/400 cc. The skull is much flatter at the back. The eye sockets are shallow and positioned differently than in a normal skull. The skull bones are thinner and lighter than expected. The interior surface of the skull has patterns of indentation different from normal skulls. These characteristics are unusual, but within the range of what can result from several known medical conditions. The first DNA analysis of the Starchild Skull was conducted in 1999 by the Bold Lab in Vancouver, Canada. The analysis found human mitochondrial DNA. The DNA passed through the maternal line, matching a human haplogroup found in the Americas. This finding confirmed that the Starchild's mother was human. The lack of paternal DNA was cited by Pye as evidence that the father was non-human. However, the Y chromosome analysis, which would have shown paternal lineage, was not definitive because the DNA was degraded. The absence of paternal DNA evidence is not the same as evidence of non-human paternity. In 2011, Pye announced that a new nuclear DNA analysis had found fragments of DNA that could not be matched to any human sequence in the databases available. He presented this as confirmation of non-human genetics. However, the analysis was not published in a peer-reviewed journal, was not independently replicated, and was conducted with methods that other geneticists have criticized. The presence of unidentified DNA fragments in an 800-year-old degraded sample is not unusual. Ancient DNA is fragmented and contaminated, and unidentified sequences can reflect degradation, contamination, or gaps in reference databases rather than alien genetics. Medical experts examining the Starchild Skull have proposed several diagnoses that could explain its unusual morphology without invoking extraterrestrial genetics. Congenital hydrocephalus, buildup of cerebrospinal fluid in the skull, can cause dramatically enlarged cranial volume and altered skull shape. Brachycephaly, premature fusion of skull sutures, can cause the flattened rear shape. Binder syndrome affects facial structure in ways consistent with some of the skull's features. The combination of multiple conditions in a single individual, or a particularly severe case of one condition, could plausibly produce the Starchild Skull's morphology. Lloyd Pye died of lymphoma in December 2013. He had spent the last 15 years of his life promoting the Starchild Skull as evidence of extraterrestrial genetics. He never received the scientific validation he sought. After his death, the skull passed to a successor organization that has continued to promote it. The skull remains in private hands and has not been made available for comprehensive independent genetic analysis using modern ancient DNA sequencing techniques. The technological tools that might settle the question definitively, high-coverage ancient genome sequencing, have not been applied to the skull. The Starchild Skull is a genuine 800-year-old human skull with unusual physical characteristics. Whether those characteristics result from known medical conditions or from something unprecedented cannot be definitively resolved with the analyses conducted so far. The skull is real. Its unusual shape is real. The open question is what caused the shape, medicine, or something outside current understanding. If the skull were made fully available for modern comprehensive genomic analysis, the question could likely be settled. It has not been. The mystery of the Starchild Skull endures in part because its custodians have not allowed the testing that could resolve it.